Hello, everyone. This is James Strong. This is the SIG networking subproject Ingress NGINX. It's January 18th. And as such, we are a CNCF project, which means we adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct. If you have any issues, please go ahead and report those to myself or the SIG networking leads. And with that, we can go ahead and get started. Gentile, thanks for joining us on your trip, even though it's late. And thanks for being here. And we can I know we'll probably want to talk about 125 because we had another question about it. So I know everyone's really interested in 125. So
Yeah.
and
I think Ricardo's PR will bring the new version of OpenRST to our project. Yeah.
yeah, you're talking about 10.629.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're close. Just waiting on that one. Okay. I know we were blocked on that, but we can go ahead and we can get to that one. I do want to triage some issues, run through that for 15 minutes. Just because I think we're up to about 500 issues now. It's been slowly creeping up. There's just lots of conversation, but I don't see like issues being closed. So want to start going through those and trying to close them. Because I know I went through last week and I keep asking a bunch of questions, but things don't get closed. The going through the loop. But before we do that, Thomas, do you want to introduce yourself? I can't remember if you were here last week or last meeting or not. I apologize if you were.
No, I am restarting attending meetings. I may never have been to an Ingress meeting actually. I started getting invited to meetings in August, but I got very busy with some work that I was doing, and so I'm New Year's resolution. I'll start pay attention again. So I'm very new basically, and I'll even have to go back and remediate myself a bit about Kubernetes Ingress. So I'm going to be a very passive observer for today.
No problem.
Just try to catch up. But I'm a software engineer and who wants to get involved in Kubernetes. So.
Okay. Yeah, if you have any questions, we have the Ingress NGINX dev channel where we talk about releases and other things that aren't specific to like support. So we split those two channels. So if you're not in those, go ahead and join the dev channel. If you have any questions, just let us know. There's a code walkthrough in the docs. And as always, you can read through the repo. But if you have any questions, just let us know. So appreciate you being here. All right. Let's go ahead and get started on the triage, and we can just walk through the time check. I want to make sure we at least go through this because, like I said, we've got about 500 issues that are open. A lot of them looks like they don't have the needs triage, needs more information. So let's go ahead and is anybody on the call have access to an Azure environment that they won't be personally paying for? Because
yeah, plenty of them, maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
I can repeat this if it's important. I can repeat this. I just read the issue already, and there's another one.
Yeah, there's two open for 190. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're related or the same or if there's any changes. Like that's what I was just trying to get to because I was looking at both of these. So 10.869 and 10.863. Both are having issues in the 19X. So I don't know if there was a regression. Unfortunately, for the cloud environments, we really don't. Our CI doesn't test. We test everything on kind. So it's really unfortunate. I mean, I asked them. This one, the 10.869 was an interesting one because it was confusing to me because when I go look at the annotations, they have AWS and Azure annotations. So I don't know why they would have both of those.
Yeah, but they are user provided, so it's nothing we do on our side. And
yeah.
I think if it worked before, hopefully the internal controller just ignores the AWS annotations then.
Yeah. The
But
only
yeah,
other
go ahead, please.
Yeah, the only other thing that I'm aware of that we did was the annotation validation. So I just asked them to do a little bit more troubleshooting. Because again, if the endpoints are up, the controller's healthy, you can create ingress objects. That's a networking issue outside of the cluster, I would think. Network
Can you
policies,
go-
firewall.
Can you scroll up a bit, because annotation validation is defaulting to false in 1.9, or still defaulting to false. So if it would have been enabled, it would have been in the controller in the arguments section, the deployment, but I didn't see it there. I think they posted the deployment manifest somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think I thought. There it is, but there's no there it is. Then there is no annotation validation enabled.
Okay. So that's
And
not
I
the
also
issue.
don't think it's really related to the ingress, to the controller itself. The only thing I saw that okay, and they're using the default port, so it's still 80 and 443. Maybe it's related to some AKS stuff, like not allowing port 80 and 443, but I mean, I can't imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, I know on AWS there's an issue where you have to add, like, EKS by default doesn't open up the 8443 to the worker node, so sometimes there's issues with that. So I'm not well versed enough in Azure networking. I will be here soon, because I have a customer who's running Azure and AKS, so I have to do a lot of learning in the next month. So that should be helpful, but I don't have an environment.
Yes, stated if it's only about something on Azure, I can help out.
Okay.
So either kind of our own flavor or the plain cluster API one. So both of them should be fine, because in the end it's just the internal controller talking to Azure and creating the load balancer there. And as long as they did not change the Kubernetes version, but only the Ingress NGINX version or the chart, I think we should be fine. Able to test that.
I would say just a plain Jane AKS environment and a default 195 version, just to see if the defaults work, and then just go from there. All right.
I think I'm already using. Yeah, I'm already using our chart on Azure somewhere.
Okay.
So, but this is as stated, this is not AKS.
Okay.
That's the main difference. So maybe it's really just AKS and not Azure as it as plain Azure.
Okay. Well, yeah, just let me know, and we can circle back if the default one's not working. I think I already looked at this one, because he had an older one.
Maybe we can ask that customer to send us a response or debug info like curl -v, and then logs of the controller to know if the curl request even hits the controller or not. And and also there's no proof of a direct relationship, but there is a change on AKS that was observed, I think, a couple of months ago, on a specific version of Kubernetes or on a specific version of something else, that they changed the health check from HTTP to TCP or TCP to HTTP, while we remained same, but something changed on AKS, and some people had issues. So they changed.
I do vaguely remember that one. Can you find that issue and post those into those channels?
I will have to really search, but I think we should at least ask this user to tell us if his curl request reaches the controller by
Yeah.
using the log, like
That's
deploying a simple ingress with the NGINX Alpine image, and then ask him to tell us, or I can take on a Zoom session with him and say if he's willing to, so something like that.
yeah, it's kind of what I asked in this question here about being able to reach the service for the controller, the endpoints. Because if you can reach the service, you can reach the endpoints, and then testing out if you can reach the node port and IP address, then that's a load balancer question, and it probably does lead to that what you were talking about with the health check change. So
yeah. So
okay.
he's not completely understanding the question in the sense that install 1.9.5 and then create an ingress with a simple NGINX Alpine image and try to send a curl HTTP, not even HTTPS. So I think if we can explicitly tell him do that with 1.9.5 and send us the logs of the controller, that
I
will tell
really,
whether
I want to take a step back from that and just I think our troubleshooting page needs some updating, like how to walk them through explicitly those things.
yeah, correct.
I think that would be helpful. And then, so I think, Long, if you want to write that up and add it to the troubleshooting in a PR, and then we can just be able to point folks to that page.
Okay.
Just like a simple like curl or HTTP bin test, and just make sure that it works. So if you can walk them through that, that'd probably be helpful.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Oh, hey, look, it's our favorite person, Ricardo.
Hey.
Hello.
I have
Ricardo.
13 minutes. Sorry.
13 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, that's between meetings. Yeah, sorry, folks.
Yeah. All good. We're just trying to do triaging because I noticed there's a huge uptick. There's about 500 open issues, and then ones that need triage is down to about 416. So we need to do a better job of closing issues or just working through and trying to assign them out if it's features or actual bugs. So we were just talking about the AKS ones because there's two folks reporting issues with 19X on AKS. But yeah, let's go ahead, and I do want to get back to triage and give it about 10 more minutes, but I know, Ricardo, you're short on time, so let's go ahead and talk about 110 and 125 NGINX. How I saw we got some Go issues on the CI. Besides the GHCR issue, because if we need to, we can just go back to using Cloud Build. How close are we? Do you want to give an update on this one?
Yeah, so one of the errors is just Golang being a pain. I had to think a lot on which wording I should be using, but because it's using like I'm using the same constant name for different stuff, blah blah whatever, it's gonna be fixed, right? But every time we build NGINX version 125 now, it's gonna test against some end-to-end clusters as well. This is working. Okay. So if you take a look, yesterday it failed. I don't know why. I need to figure out, but usually it works fine. So my next step, it's just gonna be oh, it worked actually. Cool. So my next step, it's just gonna be something failed. I will check that. No worries, James. My next step is just gonna be splitting the commits, removing the commits that I have added for OpenTelemetry. I just did that to make sure that OpenTelemetry from NGINX would work as well. And then this is going to be ready to be merged, and we will have an NGINX version 125 base image version that then we can start using on the controller, right? So I did on different folders, because if we need to cherry pick something on version 1.9, we can keep using the old image, right? So we won't have that mess like when the same one that I did when I have removed the HAP, right? So we use the old one, the old NGINX version 4.19, and this new version for version 110, and all of the fixes and so on, until we can get a better built-in Docker registry that we don't need to keep, doing all of those promotions.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
But one thing, James, that I've heard, it's that staging environment, we don't pay for them, apparently. I need to confirm that. So if we don't pay for them, we can still keep using Cloud Build just for publishing the images. And instead of consuming the registry from production, we can just consume the staging one, you know,
For
just
testing?
justifying on the code or for testing, for building images and all of those things. You can just say like, hey, we use the non-promoted image here because we know that in NGINX space it's staging, right? So we don't care about having that in production.
Yeah, great. I agree.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just make sure that when we do the promotions, we have to do those promotions as well when we're doing a release, before we do a release.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to confirm Ricardo, you want to create a new PR to form per NGINX version, and we will introduce the new version of NGINX in next version 1.10 version, and don't cherry pick the NGINX the new version of NGINX to 1.9 version.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanna make it on a min or whatever change we call it, but keep 1.9 as NGINX 121.
Yeah.
And if someone wanna use the NGINX 125, they should use Ingress 110. Because there are a bunch of changes, like we have removed a bunch of like open tracing things. I have changed some things on the build environment. I have removed a lot of things that were like causing slowness. We are using new Luajit, a lot of things for like S390. So it's safer, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Not for long, right?
Sorry, Long?
Not for long, right? Only until 110 proves to be stable.
Well, remember we're supporting two versions, right? So we're gonna when we provision 110, when we release 110, we're gonna drop 185.
Yeah,
I might put one more out for 186 for like CVEs, because I know, remember, we added annotation validations in 1.9.
Yeah.
So I'll put out a release version for 1.8, and then 1.96, and then when we cut 110, right? So until we cut 111, we'll support the old NGINX version on 1.9.
And honestly, Long, I think it's like kind of healthy for us to at least have those NGINX versions images split. As long as we are using the 121 based on OpenResty 121, 125, because changing things on those images has shown to be really challenging when you remove something from them, right? So let's try right now to keep this way, but I think that long term we should rethink the way that we build our base images as well.
Okay, Ben, are you going to be do you plan, or do you think there will be further releases in the 1.9?
Probably only CVE fixes, right? So that's why we keep them, right? Because there's major changes between the minor releases, right? So that's why we've been Go ahead. You plan this for 6 months, 3 months, or until 111? Until the 111. Okay. And we haven't even talked about what 111 would look like. What major change would force us to go to 111? Okay. Because I haven't seen any. We unless there's major features that other folks have put in place, to my knowledge, there's no features that would bump us to 111. So we'll wait to have that discussion in a couple months. Okay. So we'll just put in docs after releasing 110. We'll just mention it also clearly in the docs. Yeah, it should be in the release train docs. And if not, we can clarify that. But that's been the conversation we've had since we started doing release branches. Yeah. All right. Okay. It's not explicit about the NGINX 1.25, so we'll just add some text there in the docs.
No, it's explicit on the README on the project. the first page, there is the version of NGINX that we are using for each release.
Yeah, and it will be in the release notes. It will be in the release notes for the Helm chart and for the controller. We'll make sure that it's one of the highlighted versions because we know a lot of people have been asking for it. I'm pretty sure there's at least 3 issues open asking for 125 NGINX. So we'll make sure that everyone knows.
I just asked because you see, some people are talking, some users talking about watching the releases and then doing automatic updates and so on, right? For example, in this case,
That was
what
on
would we-
patch versions.
Yeah. So what would we be publishing on Artifact Hub and so on? Would be 1.9 or 1.10? That in that sense. I mean, we don't
110.
have to,
So
like,
the latest version is what gets pushed to the Helm chart. So the Helm chart latest will get 110, and we'll probably do a minor release on the Helm chart as well. So I think we're on 4.8, 4.9 now. So we'll go to 4.10 when we go to 110. So we'll do a like for like patch releases and minor releases.
okay.
Okay. And so we'll cut 110 as soon as this is available. 10629. So that'll be on Ricardo once we get there. Awesome. Thank you for that update. We can go back to give it about 10 more minutes for triaging. Because there is one I would like to talk about. I think it's this one. This one is interesting because we tried to explain to folks supporting gRPC and HTTP requests through one domain name. I think we got them to the point to where they realized that you can't do that. You're gonna either have to have separate domains or separate paths for the gRPC application versus the HTTP application. So I think what they're asking now is really just a feature request to be able to listen on multiple ports other than 80 and 443. And that's a feature request, and I would think major rework or major feature request, because right now we support 80 and 443 or different ports for HTTP and HTTPS. Being able to listen to multiple ports, that's a huge feature request. I don't want to see anybody else's thoughts on this one before I comment and close this request out.
Let me think. If we support gRPC and HTTP requests through this issue is wanted to using the same domain name. Yes.
Same domain name, different port.
Same domain name for but they in different port, right? If let me think. If we I think I think we can support this filter, but this filter is a
Jinta, look at the example.
Yeah.
Jinta, look at the example in the ticket on James' screen. He's actually, James, if you can scroll up, there will be an example that he has posted. The user has posted as to how exactly he wants.
Yeah, it's this way.
Yeah.
Are you sure we can support this?
I'm not sure if
Yeah,
we can.
yeah. If we want to implement this feature, I think we can do it. But we need some annotation to support it. For example, we can add annotation to point which port we will to use, and we should to add the annotation of which protocol we want to use. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and sign this out to you then, so you could give it a little bit more look,
Yeah.
see if it's feasible. But I mean, honestly, it's gonna be, it would be a feature request. I don't think this would be a major, but this isn't gonna be until like 112 or 113. Until
I think this one can be a major version.
Okay.
Can be a major version. We can schedule it to next major version.
But Jintao, is it feasible actually that the request itself will contain a port number?
Yeah, see, that's the issue. Let's talk through it a little bit more in the issue. But I mean, exposing a new port.
I think
Because he's talking about a front end port on the load balancer as well. And that would break cloud controllers.
I think it can be we can imagine these scenarios is similar to if user want to proxy UDP protocol in Ingress NGINX, and so one user to deploy the Ingress controller, users will specify some port it want to open, and one user create an ingress resource, user can using the exist port. Yeah.
Okay.
But Jintao, can we actually support all layer 7 functionalities on 2 different ports?
Could you please repeat yourself? Yeah.
Can we actually support all layer 7 functionalities concurrently on 2 different, not actually 2, 4 different ports? This means we'll have to support layer 7 functionalities on, now we support on 2 ports, right? 80 and 443, but because it's standard. So can we concurrently at the same time support 4 different ports?
Yeah. If we have opened the port, we can do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Will it require changes to any annotation code that will now look, listen, and process requests that are not coming on standard HTTP and standard HTTPS port?
Right now, let's go ahead. The Gentile's gonna look at it and see if it's feasible, and then we can plan for it in those feature requests. Right now, we've got to get through the NGINX upgrade, data plane, control plane, and gateway API. So those are the goals for the year. Everything else should take a backseat to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll go ahead and drop that one. This one, I think I might. I asked them to update this one, because it looks like we fixed the netbind issue that they had. They need to refactor this ask, because this isn't the same, because they already asked about netbind servers and we solved that for them. So I'm going to close that one out. Let's go ahead and look at this guy. $190 again. Again on Azure. I didn't see that.
This one is most likely 8443 being blocked.
does the webhook run on A443? I thought it was just the admission controller.
You can see in the description, the users said how to deploy, how was the Ingress NGINX controller installed. It as a dependency of primary ham chat, so user not using our ham chat directly. So can user does the user can provide his values file.
Are they? Oh, did they write their own chart and just included ours? It's weird.
That's correct. They have their own main chart, and they're including our controller chart as a subchart to their main chart, and that likely means there are dependency issues, or they are modifying it.
Yeah, but I can't imagine this being an issue.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna ask them
Because
about the
normally if
8443.
you're not putting values below a prefix like global, so you need to you can't override the subchart. So the only thing I could imagine is they accidentally override the jobs or part of them. So yeah, it would be best to try installing the chart on its own first without any values. And if this still doesn't work, we can go ahead. But right now we don't know which values are being passed into the main chart, which is the parent or the one actually yeah, incorporating our chart then.
We'll see what comes of these questions. So, all right. I need to go do the 196 release, get that one cut and started, and the 186. Do we know? Are there any pull requests from features off the top of our heads, folks, that I need to go look at? I haven't looked at anything that's been merged to main lately for 196. Now remember, it should be feature, it should be patches, so like bug fixes and things like that, not new features. We'll leave the new features for 110. I don't think there's been much that's been merged lately, besides like depend bug fixes. That one we can ignore. I didn't know if anyone knew. Sorry, I moved on to during the 196 release conversation since we're a little bit over time. Telemetry docs.
Yeah, this I have sent the link to our chat box. Yeah.
Add annotations allow
This
custom.
this PR is a
Yeah.
future. Yeah, yeah. I will do a review, do a final review of this PR, and we can bring this to
And-
our next.
Go ahead.
Okay. We can bring this to our next version. Yeah.
For 196
Uh,
or 110.
One,
This doesn't.
because this is a future, so I think we can bring this to 1.10.
Okay. Can you also, when you review, I can add it here, but can you ask them to squash the commits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a nightmare having to rebase on 15 commits for all of these things. Okay.
Yeah.
What's this one? Sec level and strength of part of the SSL cipher list validation.
I think this was mainly document. No, it wasn't. Sorry.
No, this is yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh yeah,
reusing,
this was
that
they
one.
were missing. Yeah, okay. I think this one is fine for a patch release. What do you all think? It's just this seems like a bug fix. Just adding it added to the regex. What's your hesitation?
Yeah, and there
Marco?
is another one about regex, the next one, annotation validation, validate regex in common name annotation. I think this is the one I confused it with.
Oh yeah, there was
Yeah.
one that added a new annotation. Yeah. Okay.
And mod security got a bump, but it's probably also, yeah, it's only a patch.
Okay.
And then we are already close to 195, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So there isn't really a lot of stuff in there. I
Yeah,
think we did the when was the release? Let me check.
like Christmas or like the 26th or 27th.
Yeah, but also 490 was based on a release branch, release 19, and I'm not sure if we cherry picked each and everything, but I don't think there is a lot of new features since then.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of new ones either. A lot of these are just like docs and dependent pot bumps. So I'll go through and add those. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I don't see any features getting merged between 195 and now.
No.
Okay. I will get those bumped through for 196. Look at that. So that looks good. We'll let those run. That should be fine on 19. So yeah, I'll get 196 refreshed. I'll update the webhook because I did that about a week or two ago. I got that promoted because there were CVEs in the webhook. And I'll look to see. I don't think there's been an Alpine release, so we don't need to bump Alpine. I know there is a bump. Long, do you want to take the bump on the one there's a new test for there's a new version. I think it's like 114 for I forget the testing framework, Gecko.
Ginkgo, you mean?
Ginkgo,
Ginkgo?
Yeah, Ginkgo.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to take the lead on that one, bumping it to 114? Because that's got to go through all the promotions.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, this one is a one. I would say this is a 110 because this is a feature. This is a new feature. We'll save this for 110. It's not been cut yet, so but I don't know if there's a way to put a reminder.
Yeah, I just did a quick git diff, and it's really just the regex thingy we talked about right now, and a lot of stuff regarding CI, plus the webhook. But apart from that, no real changes between 195 and current main.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, Ricardo did a lot of refactoring on the CI to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
James, just to get on the same page, the third gen new build or fix CV is on Go, right?
I don't know. The rebuild, the one that I promoted a week or two ago. I don't know if it was the Go rebuild or if it was just a refresh for Alpine.
Can you look at the issue, because it's explicit that the CV is on a Go library or a Go component, not on
yeah, I'll double check it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure the latest one was CVE free. or at least as of when it was built.
No,
it's
as
a
in
time
do
component.
as in for that CVE, I don't explicitly recall very clearly seeing a fix in the Go library, so that's why I'm just asking.
On this one, on XNet. Yeah. It just needed to be rebuilt, I think, because we bumped everything. Because the latest one in KXIO,
Did we bump XNet as well?
go look. Yep, right there, 117. Or 017. So we should be good. It just needs to be released. It's in production. We just haven't updated it for the chart, or for the anything in there. So I'll get those all updated in 196, and we'll get everything bumped. We'll get everything bumped from 196 and 186, and then we'll wait for Ricardo on 110.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome, folks. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thomas, thanks again for joining. This is actually a really productive meeting. We did a lot of conversations around a bunch of different topics.
Thanks for letting me join in.
Yeah, well, Thomas.
All right. Thanks, folks. I'll write up the notes because I was not taking a lot of notes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot. Have a nice day, evening, night, wherever you are.
Bye.